man, everyone, welcome. Oh, we got Meg back. We got Mitch Hirsch. He made it in here. He caught a little bit of the last hour. Do I could play some music while I'm but none of you know. No, you've all heard my songs enough. Okay, guys, welcome. We have an excellent hour for you. LITFest just continues to roll on. As I was saying at the beginning of last hour, friends, it was only a few years ago that I was performing at my first big festival, being LITFest, and here I am now hosting LITFest. So any of these comics that you see tonight could be on the same stage you're watching them now in a few years, just talking sort of more meanderingly before, in between, and after the sets. And I will also be reading. Oh, we got great to see some beautiful faces, everyone. There are some things that I want to talk. I have a new organizational system. It's my stand-up box. So it's a box of index cards, and I got so many different things in here. Here's a thing that happened, and I know some of you are parents in here. A friend of mine is a parent because I'm 32, and that's what happens when you're 32. You have a lot of friends who are parents. I actually had a dream the other night. This isn't funny, just sad. I had a dream, senior year of college, and it was the first day of the senior year of college, and I saw someone that I in real life haven't talked to in years. And I saw her and she walked by and I was like, oh, I should say hi to Lindsay. And then I was like, nah, you know what? I've got all year to catch up with all of these people that I love from college. And then I woke up and I was 32 years old and it's just, that's how life works. But I was with my friend's baby at the park. I was also with my friend. We were there together. And my birthday is at end of July. I'm a Leo. People will tell you ever since you're very young, that when you're a Leo, you think you're the center of the universe. And it kind of fucks you up because you just get told that, and that's what you sort of believe. And so her son is also a Leo, and he's like 1.5. And so she said to him, oh, you hear that, Eli? You're not the center of the universe. And then we both froze, and she was like, I mean, but you are to me. And because we realized, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, you know. He shouldn't be told he's the center of the universe, except he should by his mom, you know. But his mom is also, I'm at the age where you start to see the people that you grew up with, you start to see which adults that you knew as a child they're turning into. Does that make sense? And it's a lot of surprises. It's a lot. For instance, I have a friend who is 31 and he's dating a 23-year-old. And it's like, right, that's a bit of a gap. His name is my dad. That's my parents. And I only just at this age realized how in both, like, because I was in my early 20s and I had friends who were girls who were dating guys in their early 30s. They were always like, there's like the weird tattooed version where like, you know, that's not gonna last for that long. But then there's the long-term relationship they have with those guys. And they're always like, are you Mormon or are you into rock climbing? Like that for some reason, that is a vibe of a early 30s guy who dates women in their early 30s. And my dad is neither. So I don't know which I'm supposed to become. I think it's time for us to get to this show, though. I just had to get that stuff off of my chest. I mean, I'm alone in the apartment this weekend, so I'm just doing a lot of talking to myself. Closed all the blinds. It's been a hoot and a half. But we have an amazing show for you today. First up, he is coming in from I don't even know where. He's on the road. he's always got 4.5 stories, and I bet today he might even have 5.5. He's got a beautiful hat and a beautiful tapestry of some sort behind him. Stained glass. Is he in a church? I bet he's not, because we all know he would be on fire if he was in a church right now. Give it up for Dave Rosenthal.
Hey, Julian.
Yes.
Just so you know, I'm in a room full of my friends. My family. My family came from all over tonight to see me. And just so you know, I don't love you any less. I just love them a little bit more. In any event, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I want to talk about the coronavirus or the cicadas. I mean, I don't know which plague to talk about first. When was the last time we had back-to-back plagues? My my family is still trying to get the fuck out of Egypt. Remember a few months ago when everybody was scrambling to get vaccinated, even though hardly anybody in Texas got vaccinated, the governor lifted the the mask requirements, and then he doubled down by fully opening up all of the businesses. Well, thank God that all Texas businesses were batshit crazy. Take Starbucks. They were willing to take a financial hit for their beliefs. No maskless people, going into their stores like the Proud Boys would sidle up to the coffee bar and order a decaf mocha frappuccino. Grande with soy milk and sprinkles. How will they get by without their vanilla bean scones, their pumpkin cream cheese muffins, and their exclusive Michael Bublé CDs? No, honestly, this is a crappy idea. No one wants people with guns, lots of guns, to go through caffeine withdrawal and become even more anxious, depressed, and irritable. Who wants Proud Boys with twitchy trigger fingers? I say, give them that cup of coffee, make it eventful. But you don't want to give them a shot of espresso because you really don't want them jittery. Well, as I said before, Julian said, I was on the road, and that's true. Right now, I'm at my niece's house in Coral Springs, Florida. Thank you. I have an excellent road crew, by the way. They all pulled together at the last minute. Things weren't going well. But they really pulled together, set up the stage, the whole thing. It's great to be here. And we're just a stone's throw from Butterfly World, the BW. It's the largest butterfly habitat in the world, right there. And it's much, much better than their second best attraction, which is Cicada World, the CW. I mean, the BW, it has 20,000 kinds of butterflies, and the CW has one. And the BW is open every day of the year, and the CW is only open once every 17 years when it's hot. But I had to go to the CW anyhow, because I bought a 3-day pass 34 years ago, and I had to get my money's worth. And the best part of it is, you don't even need a GPS. You can just hear that crackling. I mean, just from, exactly where you're going, where it's coming from. And I got to tell you, it may be a generational thing, but I really think the BW is better than the CW. Don't you find the CW a little too emo? It's one thing to dress up those little cicadas as the Flash, Batwoman, and Black Lightning. But did they have to go on and on and on, chirping, chirping, and chirping? Go mate already and stop the fucking chirping. And I didn't come to South Florida because the temperature in DC just wasn't hot or humid enough. It was for family obligations. But in all fairness, not the family that I'm sitting with right now. And so why am I here? A few months ago, I talked to my mother-in-law, and we were going to talk on Zoom, but she didn't want to put on her makeup. Heaven forbid, after 42 years, I should see her without lipstick, eyeshadow, liner, mascara, on Zoom, on my iPad. Hello, it's your mother. We took the independent living place. We were moving in June. Boy, did we get lucky. The condos in phase 2. Phase 2 is much nicer than phase 1. Phase 1, the condos are too far from the pool. Phase 2 has a nicer view of the pond. Phase 1, you only see the parking lot. I said, Mom, enough with the phases. Do you want me to come down and help? No, it's all right. We don't need any help. I told her I'd be happy to go. With the coronavirus, we just haven't visited enough. No, don't come. It's okay. So I went directly to Travelocity. And just as I was looking at those 3 little numbers on the back of the credit card, ready to put it in, my wife got a text from her brother and said, they really don't want you to come. So now 3 days later, my friends called me and he said, how would you like to join us in the Outer Banks at my sister's beach house for free? And I said, you got it, we're there. I didn't even check with my wife. There's nothing she enjoys more than planting her ass in a beach chair in the sand for 9 hours at a time. She doesn't even get up to pee. I know it's definitely a happy place. And just as I'm explaining my good fortune to my wife, the phone rings. Hello, it's your mother. I spoke with your father. We changed my mind. Dad wants you to come down and go through all the stuff. And you know what we've had. I don't even have to tell you this. I said, really, Mom? We just made beach plans in North Carolina and we really want to go. Okay, I guess we really don't need the help. It's just this 30 years of stuff in the condo. And your father's not from the Packers. He wants to keep 3 Swiss Army knives that don't even close. What's he need that for? Suits that he hasn't worn since the year of the flood. And belts that wrap around him twice. 10 minutes later, I shit you not. So I says, why do you need 2 winter coats in Florida? Where you going? So we compromised. We went to Florida. But we stopped at the beach in Georgia on our way. And to get to Georgia, we had to go through Georgia. And to go through Georgia, to get to Florida, we had to go through Georgia. To get to Georgia, we also had to go through Georgia. And in Georgia, the cicadas are so loud that people are actually calling the police for car alarms going on. And just picture the police pulling up on the scene, right? You over there with all y'all friends, do you see anything suspicious? I didn't see anything. You sure you didn't see your friends messing with the cars? I didn't see anything. And you know, there is nothing that cops like worse than 17-year-olds outside making a racket. Like what 17-year-old doesn't want to do that, right? Because all 17-year-olds want to do is find a mate and copulate. That's what it means at 17, right? So the police arrested him. And as they pulled away, I could just hear him from the back of the squad car going, help me, help me. And the funny thing about the cicada being arrested is that it saved his life, right? Because the next day, my dog ate all the cicadas. Well, not all of them. He's very particular. He only likes the fresh ones, right out of the ground, and they're nice and juicy. He doesn't go for those big fat old ones that are crunchy. But other dogs are munching on these things so much that they're actually getting sick. They actually sell these little doggy muzzles that stop the dogs from gaining the Fruit 15. So if your dog's a glutton, for cicadas, that's really recommend putting them on your dog's mouth, right? To keep them healthy, because we're a society that believes in putting things over people's mouths, right? And so it would work everywhere, but this is Georgia, right? And nobody's going to infringe on these dogs' rights. Right? Like it violates the Second Amendment of the Doggy Bill of Rights, a well-regulated pet, being necessary to the security of the house, the right of a dog to go unmuzzled shall not be infringed. And it's a slippery slope. Once you allow your dog to be muzzled for purely health reasons, the next thing you know, the Democrats are going to want you to muzzle them all the time, right? And I could just see how the Supreme Court's going to rule on that one. And it was this one dog at the rest stop at the cicada that was eating cicadas, young, old, they really didn't care. And he wasn't the brightest of animals. He was a Shih Tzu. And as that Jeep Gladiator pulled away, you could barely see his little head sticking out of the window, barfing up a couple of hundred cicadas. So I guess those bands really do make him healthy. And you just picture that, after the rest stop, the 2000th emergency call came in. 911, what's your emergency? There are car alarms going off everywhere. Could it be cicadas? No, they're alarms. Can you tell where it's coming from? Everywhere. Are you sure they're not cicadas? So we got to Florida. We went straight to my in-laws. They're all condo, so that we could survey the task and figure out, how we're going to organize the week. And right there by the door was a pile that my mother-in-law left for us. The one was a miniature Greek statue of a nude woman holding an urn. Right? And then she also left a belt buckle of, who is it, Elvis Presley? Somebody like that. And 3 Swiss Army knives that's still in close. And after an hour of surveying the damage, we realized we were just stalling because we didn't want to go. And why didn't we want to go to see the parents? You see, my brother-in-law had arranged for all the moves, right? He took them, he said he'd figure out how many boxes, he hired the people for them to move, right? And to unpack. And my brother-in-law gave his parents strict instructions. Keep your mouth closed. Don't say anything. Well, you know what happened, right? They show up at the house, the movers come, and they look around, and they finally sit down at the table, and they take out the paperwork, right? And the movers have a view of the apartment, right? They're looking at everything. And my mother-in-law has a view of the china closet, right? And she's thinking to herself, while they're actually explaining it to him, she's paying no attention. And she's looking, I'm not letting them touch my tchotchkes. I'll pack it. But as my mother-in-law told me later, I didn't mean you shouldn't pack it. I meant I packed it. The stuff. I still wanted you to pack. So it's like, and the funny part is, this is the first time that she's done this. I remember when she was pulled, my father-in-law told me she was pulled over by a cop for going through the same stop sign at the corner of her condo 3 days in a row. And she says, I don't understand it. He keeps giving me a ticket. Mom, did you stop? I stopped. Then why did he give you a ticket? I stopped, but I didn't stop. So instead of 2 days, it turned into 3. 1 day to come and realize nothing was packed except for the shit in the china closet. Then packing and coming back to the move. I mean, if I was back in DC, I could have gone to the dispensary and helped my in-laws out. I mean, I could just be giving them a little gummy bear, right? And say, here, take this. This will make you feel much better. But don't take 2. It's bad for your diabetes. And the funny thing is that out of everything by the pile by the door, oh, did I tell you what was in the pile by the door? Not only was it the statue, oh yeah, I did, but also three boxes, small boxes. And the funny thing is that out of everything, the small boxes was the closest to something that I actually wanted. Because the last time that we flew into Florida to help people clear out a bunch of crap was when my mother-in-law's mother died. But at least we had no beach plans at the time. It was winter, and it was better to be in Florida than in DC. Much better environment for cleaning out other people's crap. And you have to understand, at the time, I was prosecuting cases in DC. So when I saw that 50s classic cigar box, I was flabbergasted. I didn't even know this thing existed. I know that people stuff pot into cigar wrappers. They call them Phillies or blunts. But I didn't know that it was actually Philly blunts. Well, in any event, I'll skip that story. No, so I had to have it. And my mother-in-law just wanted me, she just said, please take this TV. I'm like, Mom, it's 80 pounds and I can't do it. I can't take it on the plane with me. And you have to know that I am looking forward to getting back to DC because the idea of the gummies really impressed me. Right? And I could see me, driving through there and going straight to the store. And I won't make the same mistake that I made the last time when I first got my medical marijuana card and bought a pipe, a vape, and gummies. Because what I did that time is I got home and I took a gummy. And I ate it. And an hour later, I felt nothing. So I had another gummy. And an hour later, nothing. So I took out my bomb. And then I realized I had to pee. And I realized I couldn't stand up. It took me an hour to get to the bathroom, or it may have been 3 minutes. It was really tough to tell. But it was a good thing that I didn't lock the door because I couldn't figure out how to pull my fly down. So I had to call for my wife. She's had a lot of experience. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Big drum for Dave Rosenthal. Listen to all that applause. Keep that energy going. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to walk over to my refrigerator and grab myself a beverage because I have been hosting Zoom comedy for an hour and a half, and that can be tough. And so what I want you all to do is to follow my lead. Dave is talking over me even though he's muted. Look at this. Look at Dave. I'm unmuted now. Who muted me? Anyway, what I wanted to say is you all should feel more than happy to grab something for yourself, whatever you would like to drink, whether it's water or a snack, because just turn off your screen for a second, but bring the camera with you because the comedy's just going to keep going. And right now, it is going to keep going with the one, the only, the ever zen, Simone Mishler. Keep it going for Simone.
Wow. So my intro was basically also an invitation to leave and go get a snack. Like already coming in hot. This is going to be great. Thank you, Julian. Well, yes, Zen focus. Here we go. Now, I am going to start by saying I know what I'm about to say is in no way like a fresh and or hot and or new take, but it is the truth, and therefore I feel it needs to be said more. And it is that being a fantastic, like absolutely wonderful father would at best make you a mediocre mom. Like even the most present, there for you dad, getting his world's best mug would make you like they're okay kind of mom. Now, I'm saying this as someone, I had a fantastic dad, right? I had a dad who was present in my life. Like no one had concerns. I was going to end up on the pole. Like my daddy issues include Parkinson's and dementia. So there's that. But, he coached my basketball team in high school. He cried at my graduation, gave me away at my wedding. Like he was really a fantastic dad. And then everything else, the whole like keeping me alive, making sure I was fed, that I had clothes on my back, that I was where I needed to be, that was all my mom. And yet I'm about to drag her. So let's get into it. Now, I know what a fantastic dad looks like, just described it to you. So when I see my husband being at best what I would describe as a half-assed puppy dad, I know that we should not have kids. Like in no world should we be having children based on our performance raising this animal. Because when you start to ask questions like, did you really poop again? Or why are you always hungry? Takes on like a very different connotation when you are saying that to a toddler. Like those are not things you can say to a human child, and yet we often say them to our puppy. I was explaining this to my mom, and I was really like hurt when she agreed that we are not meant to have kids. Now, I'm going to set the record straight. Like, I don't want kids. That's not what I'm about to do by any means. But I want her to want me to have kids, if that makes sense. Like, she should love me enough that she wants there to be more of me to love in the form of little me's. And I guess just as a woman in my 30s, I am way more accustomed to the conversation of like, those eggs are about to spoil, right? Like, it's use them or lose them time, honey. Like, let's get it together. So I was shocked when Nanette was discouraging me from procreating. And yes, just more than a little hurt by that. And here's the thing. So Nanette should in no way be able to judge my puppy rearing skills. Okay? Because this woman, my mother, essentially stole a dog from a blind person. It's true. Her empty nester project, something she thought would, fill that hole in her heart where Simone used to be, was raising a seeing eye dog, a puppy anyway. So these puppies, you're meant to teach them basic commands. You take them where you go. You get them groomed, like generally get them used to being around people, being handled. Yeah, Nanette did none of that. Like absolutely none of it. So when she returned this puppy to the leader dog program and it was testing in to being a seeing eye dog, it failed just miserably. And Nanette's defense was, quote, "That dog was crazy." So let's recap here, okay? A blind person doesn't get a dog. My mom ruined a perfectly good purebred puppy. And to this day, she still has a photo of the dog on her fridge, and it's wearing a little bandana, and it says "Leader Dog Mom," because this dog became a literal bitch for the program. She was accepted as a breeder dog. So what I'm taking away, the lesson here, is that a quote unquote crazy dog is good enough to procreate, but your own daughter? Nope. Nah, take a pass. Take a pass on that one. Okay. So let's change lanes. Has anyone ever, used a false identity, an alter ego, if you will? Evie, okay, I can tell by that you are going full Sasha Fierce when you are going out.
All the time.
That's the vibe you are bringing to the table, my friend. Now, why am I talking about alter egos and alternate names, you might ask? Thank you. Thank you for asking that question that literally no one asked. So remember when I said that I had a fantastic dad? He coached my basketball team. He was also a federal pretrial officer. So that meant he had clients, also known as criminals, who maybe shouldn't know that he has a family. So in my freshman year, basketball, he is coaching my team. We arrive at an away game and there happens to be a client sitting in the stands. Because it turns out like criminals also have freshman age girls who play basketball. Who would have thought? My dad takes me aside, informs me that the day has come when I have to change my name for my own safety. So this is a big moment. I knew it might come, I'm somewhat prepared, but honestly, like coming up with the name, I straight up choked. Okay, I was, wait for it, Janice Benoit. Okay, so let's get into it. Benoit is my mother's maiden name, so it's kind of a natural choice here. Janice, like I wish I could say that freshman year Simone was cool enough that this was like a tribute to Janis Joplin or something of the sort. But I know me, and it is far more likely that I was watching Friends reruns the night before and like just the first name that popped into my head. So I was Janice Benoit. And I promptly forgot that I was Janice Benoit, even though I chose this name. And even though forgetting this name could put my life in danger. Absolutely gone. So here's little Simone sitting on the bench. They are announcing the starting lineup. Humble brag, I was a starter. Also, my dad coached the team, so you draw your own conclusions. They're announcing the starting lineup. They announce Janice Benoit. And my dumbass looks around like, do we get like a new girl? Who is this? What? Where is Janice? Yeah, that's me. So that's the story of the time my fantastic dad maybe almost could have gotten me killed. Now, if you couldn't tell, I'm maybe not my parents' favorite child. One of them thinks I shouldn't procreate. One of them put my life in danger. So, not the best. I'm the youngest of 5, but as we know, that's not the actual ranking of the children. There's a different rank order here. So first, we have the eldest, my oldest brother, Jeremy. He came first, never came out of that position. He makes the most money, so like it just makes the most sense. Then second place position, we got my sister. Now, she gets this because she didn't leave Michigan to, follow her dreams. So she gets that spot. And then just chilling in third place, this girl. And I'm okay with it. I am okay with a third, a bronze medal. Like there are studies of Olympians that show that bronze medalists have a better quality of life than silver medalists because like silver medalists, you get so close to the glory, right? Like you can taste it, you can almost reach it. And then you have to spend the rest of your life just living in regret. Which reminds me, I need to check in on the Wikipedia with Michelle Kwan. Like, how is she doing? Do we know? If you know, put it in the chat. I would like an update on Michelle Kwan. Anyway, bronze medalists, we're just happy we made the podium. We're living our best life. We're feeling good about it. It's all good. Now, if you're wondering who's last, because let's face it, you probably are, right? That distinct honor goes to my middle brother. How did he get last place position? Thank you for asking. Well, he cemented that position the day he decided to tell Nanette, our mother, that she's a bitch to her face. On the day she bought him a horse. Yeah. Take that. You can't recover from that. You don't recover from that. Now, granted, the horse only walked backwards, but like that's a whole other set for another day. But that's my family dynamic in a nice, succinct little nutshell. Now, we've all started to get partners or get married, and these people are starting to like factor into the rankings. And I was okay with that when it was, say, my sister-in-law, because she's an annoying know-it-all bitch and no one likes her. So it's great. Worked in my favor. Little less excited when it comes to my husband, because my parents love him so much more than they love me. And I am more than a little pissed about it. Because if there's nothing you should take away more from my set than that, I'm a woman in my 30s, like still vying for my parents' love. That is the essence of who I am. So my mother, Nanette, I told you I was going to drag her. She refers to Bill, my husband, as the Christmas angel. How did he get this title, you ask? Again, thank you guys. You're such an engaged audience. Let me tell you how. He assembled a pre-lit Christmas tree. So it was 3 pieces that he plugged together, right? And then 2 plugs for the lights. Maybe there was a bit of like fluffing of the branches that was involved, but you know, all told, like a 5-minute job at most. And to get the kind of praise that he got to be a Christmas angel in my mother's eyes, I would have had to grow the damn tree myself, chop it down Paul Bunyan style, drag it in the house, put it up. And you know what? I bet she'd still tell me it was crooked. And the thing that sucks is, like, they only see my husband when he's on his best behavior. That's how all of us are around our in-laws, right? We're our best selves. They don't share a bathroom with him when, say, he decides to take the world's worst dump right before I want to brush my teeth. Who does that? What kind of animal does that? A half-assed puppy dad who shouldn't have kids. That's who. Thank you all so very much. This was lovely. That's my time.
Keep it going for Simone Mishler. She's no half-assed puppy dad. Talking about world's worst dump.
We were talking about that.
We were talking about the world's worst. Speaking of world's worst dumps, no, I was going to say that I've come up with quite a number of slangs. I mean, similar to alter egos. I think it's fun, especially during quarantine when you're trapped with a partner or anyone really, to come up with slangs for having a really bad dump. The ones that I came up with were I'm taking a meeting. That was like a few months taking a meeting. Then there was I've got some stank in the tank. And stank in the tank is I also found out recently from a friend. I talked about this a while ago, and going so off there is one more comic left. Once I stop doing this, phenomenal. I'm excited to see him. I think he's spotlit right now, so you're really just seeing his reactions to what I'm saying, which is what you need. And Dave is only messaging me, Dave, just FYI, but Dave did say, go Ivi. He sent it to me. You have to toggle who you're sending it to. I learned from a friend, what I wanted to say is, does anyone else take their shirt off to poop?
Ooh, yeah.
Thank you, Ivi. Yes, because otherwise it gets trapped in the shirt. And then if you hug someone, they can smell your poop from like 2 or 3 hours ago. This is
the particles.
If you're not doing it, yeah, you gotta lose the poop shirt. But I work at a nonprofit that specializes in they do free writing workshops for children. It's amazing. But one time I was there after hours and I had to poop, and I was like, I took my shirt off because I was going someplace else and I didn't want, and also obviously I was in the bathroom, the door was locked, right? I wasn't naked, but I realized I was naked from the ankles up in what is essentially a school. And so don't do that. It just felt strange because I was in the bathroom, but I was just like, this is a space where I shouldn't be like this, but I didn't want the poop shirt. I'm gonna say it. My friend, I was holding the stank in the tank for a long time, and then it created awful stanks. And I was telling a friend about it, and he said, that's the stench of the clench, which I had never heard that, but the stench of the clench is when you hold it in for too long and it marinates. And I am so sorry for everyone, but this is just what being by yourself for 48 hours and now just on Zoom for almost 2 hours, will do to you. And what else will it do to you? It'll get the thank you, Simone. Poop is, oh, I could talk about poop all day. It was that friend who came up with Stench the Clench. Our text conversation for the past 7 years has just been about that topic exactly. And with my sister, actually. It's the main thing we connect on. I'm 32, she's 22. But everybody poops, as they say. And speaking of everybody poops, we have a phenomenal comic closing out the stand-up portion of the Laugh Index Theater Festival. He is the one, the only, well, no, his alter ego is Richard Chambermaid, disgraced English footballer from the early 2000s. What an alter ego. But even better than Richard Chambermaid is Ivi Demi. Give it up for Ivi Demi, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. 7-year conversation about poop, Julian. Is that real? That's real.
It's real.
Wow. Can you turn that into like, that's like a short movie, like called like The 7-Year Stench.
I've asked if we can publish it, and he keeps saying no. But at some point,
it's got to be like a story or a movie or something. Or a web series, something good. I don't know. I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm about to crack open my next drink. I hope you guys are too. Show it on camera, whatever you're drinking. I am drinking. I'm moving on to canned margaritas. That's what I'm drinking because I have no regard for my own personal well-being. Oh, I love it. Ms. Cooper drinking as well. She's got it. I don't know, like I saw canned margaritas at the store and I was like, could they make a more white trash product? Like, this is incredible. I don't know, oh, we got a dog in Simone's screen. Love it. I hope he's drinking too. I don't know if there's a person like marketing canned margaritas though, in commercials or whatever. It's just the most white trash product I've ever seen. So I've got some ideas. Canned margaritas. Have you ever wanted to feel like you're on a tropical island, but you also feel the last election was stolen? Canned margaritas. Got it, baby. Canned margaritas, the official drink of mildly anti-Semitic websites that claim the Clinton Foundation has children. Canned margaritas. Grab one for you and one for your sister wife. Get two at the store. Everybody have some fun. I got to take a sip real quick. That is not good. That's pretty bad. Don't recommend it. Thank you guys for coming out tonight, though. I know I got a bit of a strange name. My name is Ivi Demi. For those that I've never seen here before, I know you guys probably like hear Julian call out Ivi Demi's coming, and you think, all right, this guy's going to be a foreigner, maybe somebody who's seen their fair share of prejudice and hate crimes. But then I come out and start talking, and you see me, and you're like, all right, this guy looks like he commits hate crimes. I'm not sure what's going on here. Like, I look like I just killed the real Ivi Demi off screen and just sort of stepped in. She was a beautiful 18-year-old Moroccan girl. She had dreams. They're now stolen. They're my dreams now. There is a cute story about my name, actually. My parents named me after a famous French actor. He was big in like the 50s and 60s. And I think because of that, they were always kind of hoping like I'd catch the acting bug too. I don't think chlamydia counts, but you know, still trying to make them proud every day though. They're not dead. I just live in their basement. That's why I do that a lot. Thanks for the free rent. I love how like prior to everybody jumping on me and Julian, we're talking about how like I look like total upstate New York right now, which is it's where I went to high school. It's where I went to college as well. It does, like, I always describe my look as someone like who just got back from a camping trip with his son, where he had to explain why his mom left. That's sort of like, I've never been married, but I look and feel divorced. I hope that makes sense to people. Like, I feel like I owe every woman in here a check. It's in the mail. I'm sorry. It's running a bit late. I was born abroad though. I was born in a country called Albania in Eastern Europe. There's no reason you guys should know where that is. And as Americans, I'm confident you don't. Geographically, I like to say that it's like, if you think of Italy as a boot, we're the piece of shit that it's almost stepping in. That's sort of how you know, like, they're just like, oh, that was close. Don't want to track that through the house. It's a weird place. It's very I describe it as a very classic, what you imagine Eastern Europe to look like. It's exactly that. Everyone is either 4 years old or 104 years old. That's it. There's no in between. you're either a small starving child on the Christian network, or you're like a gypsy woman that's cursing people, touching their faces, saying, don't go, don't go. You turn 4 over there and you get an AK-47 and a pack of cigarettes. That's how, if you're a girl, you get married, or I think the proper term is auctioned. And then overnight, you lose your entire family and you've got some stories to tell, which is great. I hope it's a depressing place. I hope I'm not depressing you guys. It really is the Eastern European in me. It totally tracks who I am. My friends always ask me, Evie, why are you so self-loathing as a person? And so I pull the gun out of my mouth and I tell them the story. It's just the one thing, if there's one thing you need to know about Albania, it's this, that our national treasure, the person we revere above anyone else, is Mother Teresa. Don't know if you guys are aware of this. She was Albanian. She is like our icon. We have statues of her everywhere. Our national airport is named after her. And I'm using the term airport very loosely there. It's basically a Slovakistan with one of those coin operated things outside bodegas. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's all we got. I have flown in and out of the Albanian airport like so often in my life. And I realized that this is one of the few things that happens there that happens nowhere else. Sometimes planes just don't come. They just, like, not that there was an issue or something technical. Like I just asked people, like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, they changed their minds. The pilot had something come up. Like, it just doesn't come, and there's no reason. And I've just gotten used to that through the years. But Mother Teresa, though, is our national icon, and she loved the area so much that as soon as she could, she moved to a rural, impoverished, disease-ridden village in India, and she was like, "This is totally fine. This is good. Not coming back." She legitimately, like, she looked at her situation and was like, do I want to struggle over a toilet for 70 years or go back to Albania? And we're gonna take this option. I'm gonna stay here and help people. Just a hard decision. I don't want to be culturally insensitive, but I will say that everyone in Eastern Europe does sound evil if you do talk to them. Like, have you guys ever been on the phone with someone and you could just tell by the cadence of their voice that they definitely have a facial scar? You know what I mean? Like you could just tell this guy lives on an island with a volcano. That's just what calling home is a lot like for me. It's like, Jesus Christ, Grandma, fine, I'll come over and visit. Just let the girl go, and we'll talk about this later. We'll clear this up. I'll come over. It was tough growing up in my household, I would say, because I could never really become and be the one thing that I always wanted to be growing up, which was petty. I just wanted to be petty, and I couldn't do it because it was just impossible. Like, Albania had a communist dictator for 50 years. So, like, what the hell am I going to complain about to my parents, that they haven't seen something so much worse? Like, it's just impossible to win an argument, I remember coming home crying one day, and I said to my dad, some bullies took my backpack at school. And my dad said, when I was young, some bullies took your grandfather, like, we all have problems, all right? Like, oh, you got detention? That's sort of what I did. Like, I was in a detention camp. Is that the same thing? Oh, they make you write on a chalkboard? Oh, well, where we were at, they were simulating drowning by waterboarding. Is that, well, we both seen some things, It was strange, I will say. I thought it was really interesting adapting to American culture. Like, there's very unique problems here, and not that Albania is perfect. Obviously, like, we have dictatorships, we've got drug smuggling, we've got sex trafficking, but you guys here regularly have people die in gender reveal explosions, which, it's like, what's worse? I don't know. Just what a shitty way to die, though, from something that could have been an email. It's weird. Like, the largest fire in California history was started because a couple couldn't just text their friends to say, hey, our child has male genitalia. No, we need to burn this entire forest to the ground to let you know that. Technically speaking, by the way, too, they're doing it wrong. Like, the term gender reveal is not correct. Geneticists say that the actual term is a sex reveal. So they should be sex reveal parties, which sounds a lot more fun. Like, I'm more inclined to attend a sex reveal party. That just sounds like I'm walking into a situation where I wasn't expecting to have sex. And then boom, surprise orgy. Beautiful, everyone involved. I don't know. I just feel like gender identity really should be in the baby's hands. Like, It could be a woman trapped in a man's body. It could be a man trapped in a woman's body. And right now, it's just a baby trapped in an idiot's body, and it has no control over any of those things. So let's just play it out. Let it make its own decision. What a weird scene. Like if you're a cop and you come across a scene like that where there's been an explosion, like how do you phone that in? You know, like we're gonna need some backup. Like what's the situation? It's a boy. Do we have any body bags and shades of blue just to keep on theme? Um, I don't know. I don't know what you guys have been missing in terms of the world getting back to normal. I'm glad it's getting back to normal. I think I just miss a lot of those kind of small, genuine human connection moments that happen when the world was right, like being in a crowded bar with strangers, rubbing elbows, you know, making small talk, buying each other drinks, seeing a beautiful woman across the room, making eye contact. You know, she smiles at you. I approach her and then she says, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were my friend." Just those like really small, genuine human moments is what I've been missing. I definitely am not looking forward to going physically back into work either. But I have been missing that one very whimsical, magical moment of going into work, which is that point in the day, right in the morning when I click the button on the elevator bank and I'm waiting to hear the ding and then I hear it and I don't know which one it is. So I spin around like Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman in Bloomingdale's. And I'm like, where could it be? Where could it be? And it's just like a very whimsical moment that I don't have right now. So I need that back in my life for sure. I think it is funny. I've been noticed, obviously, during the pandemic, a lot of companies are trying to humanize themselves. I think it's weird the kind of ways they do that, just to kind of humanize themselves to society. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Capital One, but they've slowly transformed all of their branches into Capital One cafes. Like we wouldn't notice or something. Like, come on in, grab a muffin, let us destroy your life. Don't worry about it. Is there anything more American though than having a place where you can get an iced latte and a predatory home loan at the same damn time? That's incredible. They're just bending you over the table, forcing you to sign while you're just begging for like a little bit of room for cream, just like a little bit. That'd be nice. I did turn 30 over the pandemic. It was a great milestone for me. I already want to kill myself. My married guy friends, though, like I'm at the age where a lot of my married guy friends, you know, they're having kids. They're always constantly asking, Evie, when are you going to settle down? When are you going to get married? But yet I find it funny that every time we sort of catch up when they get away from the wife and kids, they always look like they just escaped Shawshank prison. Like, you know, like they're sweating, they're in a blanket like a refugee. They're like, thank you. I had to get out of there. Thank you so much. I'm like, who are you married to? Forrest Whitaker? Who is waiting for you back home and like kicking your ass? I have no idea. They just want to they want to escape their life. So every time we catch up, they know I'm single. So they're like, let's just do the most extreme things. You know, they have this weird pent up sexual frustration, and it doesn't bode well for the institution of marriage when every time I see my married friends, I'm like, let's grab a beer, let's go to a beer garden. They're like, let's get some ketamine and kill a hooker. I'm like, can we just start with a drink? Just let's get a beer real quick, you know? Like these are the type of guys that try to get a happy ending at an acupuncture appointment. Like that's how bad it is at home. Like that's apparently a lot of my guy friends too. A lot of my married guy friends just constantly want to go to strip clubs too when we're out. And I've never been a fan. I'm very uncomfortable with strip clubs. And it's not even about the misogyny. That's like the ninth worst thing about it. It's just that I've never been in a situation where I was being sexually aroused and I thought, I wish my boys were here. Like as great as this erection is, like I really wish Steve was right here with me. Like he always knows what to say. It's just not, to me, erection's not a team sport. That's a one-on-one, me and someone else type of thing. I do think that everybody has this sort of couple in their friend group. And I realize I've had a few of these in my friend groups. There's just two people that are constantly at each other's throats. Like every week, it's like another argument, another fight. They break up, they get back together, they break up, they get back together. And it's sort of building up into this one epic, which you can imagine to be like a brutal fight and everyone's waiting for it. And then just as you feel like it's going to happen, boom, they're engaged. And that's like the last time this happened to a friend couple of mine, I was like, what happened? I thought you guys were having problems. And they said, well, we decided it was either we break up or we get engaged. Like how, when you get to the point where those are the two options, like how, that makes no, like, that's like if a couple was trying to conceive and they're like, you know what, we can either have a child or we can kill one. There are other options in between that you can take, you know, you don't have to I'm just saying there's a conversation here. I don't know. I did go into the pandemic single. I'm staying single. I honestly don't even miss dating at all. I think you've given up on finding love when you regularly leave dates early because you've just got really great leftovers in the fridge at home. Like that's the point I'm at. Like as much as I want to take this woman home, there is half a lasagna back there, and that thing is going to do things to me no woman can. Like that, it's another level. I do think in my life, though, I did got off on the wrong track in terms of sex. I was someone who lost their virginity to someone that was experienced. The girl was experienced. And I think she could tell sort of the whole night we were together that I was a little bit nervous. And I remember when we were sort of about to do it, she was like, "You've had sex before, right?" And I said, "Totes, that's totes." That was, which should have been her first sign that this guy has never been inside anyone at all in his entire life. So either way, I think that's a great point. My sexual frustration is a great point for me to end on today, guys. Appreciate you coming out to the LITFest. Thank you so much. Come out to our next shows. Love it. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Ivi Demi, everyone. Oh, he has totes had sex at this point. It has happened 100%. That just this is the end of the show. I'm not supposed to do stuff like this, but I'm going to, because there's stuff in the chat for you to read. Take the classes, audition. You can donate. I had a friend once. This is irrelevant. A terrible note to end on. He said, "Oh, you've never had a threesome with a guy and a girl? You should. It's like getting to have sex with your friend without having to have sex with your friend." And I was like, "John, just have sex with a guy. Like, it'll be more fun. Why are you not?" It's like the expansion pack for heteronormativity. Like, what do you like? Like, you've played this. Like, just go. Like, it's a real shame what has been done to all of us. And with that, I will leave you. This has been a fun, kooky hour. It really has been a good time. Keep it going for all the fantastic comics you've seen. Dave Rosenthal and all of his brothers. Keep it going for Sharon also. We don't give enough love to Sharon often enough. And Simone Mishler and Ivi. Excellent. So great to see everyone. And yeah, have a great night. Have a great weekend.